Hey neighbors, Brent here, checking in on this Thanksgiving week. I have to admit that this is one of my favorite weeks of the year because on social media and in my interactions with people face to face throughout the community and in our church, I hear a lot of gratitude being expressed, thankfulness being expressed, people recognizing how good life has been to them, how gracious God has been to them over the past year, people giving thanks for other people and just for the life that they have. At the same time, though, this is sometimes one of the most difficult weeks for people. And part of that is because sometime between last Thanksgiving and this, so many of us have lost loved ones who normally would be at our Thanksgiving feast this year, and they won't for one reason or another this year due to it being estranged from the family or having passed away. And I know for sure that in our worship community and in my own friend circle that there's families who a husband will be there without his wife, and a wife will be at her Thanksgiving meal without her husband. A father will be there without his son. It's going to be a really difficult Thanksgiving for many. There will be at that table an empty chair, figuratively or literally, where a person that everyone in the family has loved will no longer be there to enjoy the meal. And while that brings great sadness and grief to many of us this time of year, I wanted to offer an encouragement to you this Thanksgiving. I want to encourage you to put the empty chair at the table. And here's what you can do with that empty chair. When I was going through my seminary training, part of my training was in spiritual direction. And basically, a spiritual director is a pastoral counselor who works with another individual and helping them pay attention to their spiritual life, help them find a deeper, more meaningful connection with God. And one of the practices that we would use in that process of helping someone find themselves more in the presence of God was when I would meet with them face to face, I would always add an empty chair, a third chair to the room. And the idea was that Jesus was sitting in that third chair. And part of my responsibility as I had conversations with the individual would be to remind them that Jesus is here, that Jesus has never left them or forsaken them, that Jesus is finding great pleasure in them, maybe that Jesus has forgiven them, but more than anything, just to remind them that they're not alone, that Jesus longs to be in relationship with them as well. And so I'm wondering if this Thanksgiving, if you could put that empty chair at the table, and after you've taken the time to recognize your own grief and sadness that the individual who normally would sit in that chair is no longer able to sit in the chair with you, that it would quickly be followed with a sense of celebration and gratitude that Jesus has come to be with us, that when he said in his word that he would never leave us, never forsake us, that he would be with the brokenhearted, that his spirit would dwell within us and would remain with us to the end of the days, that would bring us great hope this Thanksgiving, that we find ourselves filled with gratitude for God's great desire to be present with us in all things and at all times. Maybe your empty chair could be the place where Jesus sits at your Thanksgiving feast this week. I'm looking forward to Sunday as well. After we get past Thanksgiving on Thursday, we will come back for worship at 9 and 11 there at Stewart. And this Sunday, we got a special treat for you. Michael Rafferty will be leading us in worship. And he's invited Matt Brower, a friend of our church, actually a church member, to come and join him. And the two of them will be doing a really sweet male harmony, a lot of singing. It's going to be a wonderful time of worship, and I hope that you'll plan to be there. If you've got family in from out of town, I'd encourage you to bring them. And we'll all gather again together, share in communion together and in this praise and worship, and it'll be a really meaningful time. So I hope to see you there. In the meantime, have a fantastic week, and know that you're loved. God bless you. Bye-bye.